Welcome to the Longest Take podcast. Thank you for tuning in to the Longest Take podcast. In today's episode, we are joined by Victor Gabriel. Victor Gabriel caused some waves last year in 2024 with the release of their horror short, Blood Gorge, a fascinating take on the slasher genre. And we also get to hear a little bit about Victor's upcoming project, Hellmare, which is currently in pre-production. Please welcome Victor to today's episode. So to kick this off, give me your top 5 favorite movies.
Of all, they don't have to be horror movies.
No, they could be anything.
All right. I mean, they're probably all horror movies, though.
That's fair.
Hang on. I got to... Jackie, please, I'm so sorry. You got to scoot. Thank you, babe. She's slurping up water. I can't hear a damn thing. Let's see. Dude, I should have practiced it. This is like such a weird question. You know, how does someone do this? Goodfellas, probably up there. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They're all going to be horror movies outside of Goodfellas. Blood Feast. John Carpenter's The Thing. Tales from the Hood.
Oh, Tales from the Hood.
And
that's a good one.
Yeah. Oh, God. I mean, they're all good ones. What are you talking about? You should have said that for every one of my picks.
No, actually, The Thing is my favorite horror movie of all time. So, that one is... What's Blood Feast, though? I have not seen that.
You've never seen Blood Feast? It's like the original splatter film. It was filmed in 1963 and in South Florida, and I was living in Florida for the longest time, so I'm just I got this huge connection to it. I'm just super nostalgic for it. It's like the perfect rainy day horror movie. You ever heard of Herschel Gordon Lewis?
No.
Bruh.
Yeah.
And you collect all that Arrow Video and Vinegar Syndrome stuff, and you ain't never heard of this man?
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. I mean, I appreciate someone who's never heard that name. I'm not dogging you, but
no, go ahead, dog me. That's okay.
No, he's one of my favorite directors because he just kind of revolutionized the whole thing, and he was working with what you would call shoestring budgets in the 60s, and he was one of the first people to do exploitative splatter movies, and he's just he was an older guy when he started, so it's kind of one of those things where he's rather anomalous, because I feel like all the people doing it now or they try, they get into it younger and younger and younger, but he was a distinguished gentleman making the smuttiest stuff ever. And we wouldn't have people like John Waters without Herschel Gordon Lewis. And, he was super influential. But Blood Feast it's just, like I said, the perfect rainy day horror movie. So you should definitely watch that. Next time it's raining over there, it's not scary or nothing, but it's just so fun. And the music is so weird, and it's shot in vivid blood red color, dude. It's so good.
Nice. Yeah, it sounds awesome. You said Herschel basically balling on a budget, right? He's one of those directors that the smallest budgets getting him done.
Yeah. I mean, so he was still working with a budget, but comparatively to what was being produced in the 60s, I would say comparatively, yeah, shoestring, but he also worked in advertising and stuff, and he had I think there was a Playboy pinup in Blood Feast, so he definitely had some kind of money, but yeah. Especially compared to today, shoestring.
Right, yeah. It reminds me of Roger Corman or even Charles Band, Full Moon Features and all that.
Oh yeah.
Those guys back
it's
then.
Actually it's exactly that. I mean, I think there might have been Roger Corman first. Actually, you know what? I mean, they're probably very similar timelines, early 60s, honestly. So I think Corman and Herschel probably came up at the same time, but Yeah, dude, check him out. Like, somebody put out this whole set like a decade ago of almost all of his films in like a cereal box. Like, if you Google it real quick, you'll be like, oh, I've seen that, or at least like have just laid your eyes on it, because it was
Right.
like a huge set that everyone wanted like a decade ago, and now they're kind of hard to find. But yeah, man, he made some cool stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. Definitely gonna put that on the list there.
Yeah.
2024 seemed to be a busy year for you. What was your first official foray into filmmaking?
I think I mean, I've said this before, but like my brother and I, we'd make little video projects separately before we started working together. And like we would do music videos, or we would do like I made a short with my fiance. Blood Gorge started out as a short. It was just 3 minutes of her and I kind of messing around in the basement. You ever hear of a movie called Garden Tool Massacre? Yeah, good. Because it's terrible.
Honestly, is it
there-
is it similar to like what is it, like Slaughter Vomit Dolls or whatever those movies are called? Do you know what I'm talking
not
about?
at
Like
all.
those?
Yeah, oh yeah. No, I know what you're talking about, but it's nothing like that. It was like a 90s shot on video type of thing. It was made by a bunch of kids, and I mean, when I say kids, they're probably in like their 20s or whatever. But Sub Rosa Cinema put it out, and we rented it one night at our local video store. CJ from Blood Gorge was like, "Oh yeah, we just got this in, and like blah blah blah," and I've been meaning to pick it up, and I was like, "I'll watch it, so you don't have to." And then we watched it, and we were just like, "Oh, it's like barely even fun, honestly." It was like so hard to get through because it's so long for what it is. But anyways, one night we were like, after watching it, it's like 1 a.m. Laura and I were like, "Dude, we should make a movie right now." So I grabbed my camera, and we just made like a 3-minute short called Blood Gorge. And then so I guess I have Garden Tool Massacre to thank for that. The short is on the Blu-ray, by the way. It's probably the first, yeah. So besides that, really, it was just like music videos and stuff. But I've always kind of wanted to make a movie when I was younger. So then I made this found footage movie just with no money, and just to see if I could edit stuff. And then we made Blood Gorge, which is sort of a movie, you know.
45 minutes. It's halfway there. Just maybe 20 minutes longer, 30 minutes longer, you would have had it. That found footage movie, is that Cruel?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the one that you also have on physical media, correct? Or are there a couple different Cruels out there?
Yeah. So we put it out on VHS, but on the Blood Gorge Blu-ray, Cruel is also on it, so it's like a 2-pack type of thing. Yeah, but somebody, a little company, picked it up to stream it, and that was neat. So, it kind of, when I finished making the movie, I was like, this totally sucks, right? And it does. It's not great, but like, I really just wanted to know if I could like cut something that would look like a movie. And it kind of does. It kind of feels like something somebody might watch, and some people liked it. So I'm not like shitting on my movie. It's just it was just a necessary evil to get to Blood Gorge, to get to the next thing we were doing, and then to get to ultimately to Helmer. So
right, yeah, I remember I watched Cruel, and I mean, to your effort, I mean, it felt like a found footage movie. Like, it did feel like something that I would have eventually found on like Amazon or something. And that's a compliment, because like that's first off what you kind of want to do is, a filmmaker, is not make something like something else, but like you don't want people to watch it being like, oh, I know that's just a couple kids with a camera running around. You want to like get that vibe a little bit, like, okay, this is a movie, this isn't just like me when I was like 6 years old with like an Intel Play camera, which I don't know if you even know what that is, but
I'm plenty old enough to know, but I don't. That one must have evaded me. Was it like a little computer camera or something?
No, so this was like late 90s, early 2000s. It was like this little blue camera thing where you recorded it and then you couldn't export anything you filmed. It was just you could only edit it and show it on the software itself. It was called
That's weird.
Intel Play, but I wish I could find all those files that I had when I was a little kid, but I'm also grateful I can't. But
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about like all my old, handy cams and stuff with the little flip screen. It's kind of like, I'm glad I don't have any of this like dumb shit I filmed back then. Um, yeah, I don't know, man. It was just it was a learning experience, an intentional like learning experience, and none of my friends were actors or are actors, so we were just like, let me write some lines. Like my brother and I was writing this serious movie, and he and I thought we could do it because and he's got a good eye, and we were like we should film the movie one day, and then that kind of just fell apart because I really wanted to just go full swing and do like a feature, and when that fell apart, I was like shit, fuck, I'll just grab my crappy camera and make a found footage movie and see if I can do something on my own that kind of looks or feels like a movie. And it was fun, and like I got to just fuck off in the woods with my friends, and I like a lot of the first half of that movie because I like the little story arc that I had written in 2 days. I just wrote down some lines about like Michigan folklore, but ultimately it's it's not as good as Blood Gorge, I guess is what I'm getting at.
and speaking of Blood Gorge, so
Yeah.
obviously it's a slasher. Slashers are a lot of fun. Um,
Mhm.
what do you think the main tenets of like a good slasher movie are? Like, what does it need to be like where you walk away from it and you're like, oh, that was fucking awesome, you know?
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, dude, there's so many different kinds of slasher movies. You know what I mean? There's I mean, we could to go back to the original Blood Feast, a splatter movie that came right out the gate, and then 10, 15 years later we get something like Halloween, which is more of a independent prestige slasher, not a lot of blood. And even 4 years before that, it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre, still not a lot of blood, but a lot more malice. So it's kind of like it depends on what you're feeling, because like we got camp, then we got malice, then we got prestige, and now I think we got more malice again. Um,
Oh, if we're talking
there's
Terrifier, that is nothing but malice. That is like
it's
malice and splatter, you know?
it's malicious. It's very malicious. I love. How do you feel about those movies?
Oh, I really like them. The first one did not like at all, but 2 and 3 I've
Mhm.
really enjoyed. Big fan of
Yeah,
those.
man. I do like the first one, and in fact, I rewatched it recently because I was like a little underwhelmed. I think when it first came out, and everyone was like, "Dude, it's so fucked up," and it is. I mean, when they saw that girl in half, you're just
Yeah.
like, "Okay, that is rather graphic." But the second one is like a work of art, no pun intended. Like I'm not trying to be stupid. Uh, it's I'm not that guy, dude.
Yeah.
Um, but part two and three are actually, they really encapsulate, I think, a lot of what a slasher movie probably should have. I think a lot of people complain about the runtime, and I don't see that. I think those movies are awesome as like 2.5 hour, uh, like, what's the word I'm looking for? 2.5 hour epics. They're just epic for no reason.
Yeah.
And I think we need more of that. Give me more 3 hour long slasher movies, and I'm stoked.
Right. Yeah.
Mm,
No, go ahead.
no, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, yeah, I like 2 and 3, but I liked 2 more because of like all that like character and world building they were kind of setting up. And then
Yeah.
three is where they're just like, all right, we're gonna have fun again, and just like every kill was the bedroom scene kill from the second movie in number 3.
Oh yeah.
Like drawn out,
Yeah.
malicious, mean spirited, just brutal.
Yeah. It really was, and I think, but I think it had a lesser effect though than part two because of that, because they were just like constantly trying to one up themselves.
Yeah.
Whereas like part 2 with the something like the bedroom scene, you're like, oh my god, they made the girl the sweetest character, and like I genuinely felt bad watching this. And then they tried to do it with part 3 as well at the end with the aunt and the Sienna.
Yeah.
And they like cram the rat chute down her throat, and it was malicious. It's gross.
Right.
But I didn't feel the same connection that I felt for the characters in part 2. And things like in part 2 with the relationship with her and her mom, and then as soon as they resolve it, dude blows her face off with a shotgun, and you're just like, dude, this is so miserable. Yeah. And that's why it's effective, though. It's very effective.
Yeah.
I think I think what makes a good splatter movie or a slasher movie is not just like over the top kills, but effective kills where you care about people. But then again, there's a whole nother frame of mind where you could just be like, I just want to see something dumb and just people die, you know? But I really like the art of, like you said, like world building and storytelling. So it depends on what your frame of mind is and who you're sitting next to.
Right. And I would say Blood Gorge, you're kind of going for more of the splatter, right? You're just looking like, hey, what are some kind of goofy kills, like in the like with the porno section of the video store, you know? And then I like the one where they're holding their intestines and they're just walking backwards with them.
Oh, dude. Yeah, Ali killed that thing, dude. Everyone quotes that all the time. That I need those. Like even some of the comments. One of our Letterboxd reviews is just, I need those.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And, I thought that was the funniest thing. Like, it's great. I didn't expect anyone to latch on to any one thing that we did for that movie, but there's a few things that people have pointed out that they enjoyed. So I hope we made something that is like at least watchable. But for Blood Gorge, yeah, we were just trying to make something that is fun, you know. I didn't really write a script, bro, you know. I wrote it must have been 8 pages of a script. So if I had tried harder, maybe it would have been a movie.
Well, that's why Blood Gorge 2 is going to be like Terrifier 2. It's going to be 2.5 hours long, and we're going to get this whole history of what do you call your killer with the Bam Bam mask? What's his? Does he have a name?
I mean, his name in the movie is Justin.
Okay.
Because we all played ourselves, so he was played by my friend Justin, and you know, that's who he was. He was my shitty roommate. I once had a roommate, rest in peace. But he and I fell off. You know, we became like enemies for a minute. And and it's whatever. But we never reconciled. And then a couple months ago, I got a message from a friend that he died, and I feel bad about it. I do, but we never squashed our beefs. It was just a weird relationship, and so when he was still alive and we did Blood Gorge, a lot of that was inspired by my ex-roommate, where it was just like, yo, dude, your roommate's a weirdo. And it was, I mean, he was kind of weird, but he probably saw me as the weird roommate too, you know? So, I mean, we're all weird. I'm not trying to talk shit, especially about someone who's no longer here. So, but the idea came from a real situation where I had friends that were just kind of like, who is this guy? You know? And, yeah. There was no script, bro. I kind of just wrote little things.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah, absolutely.
Didn't mean to make that depressing.
No, it's all good. I mean, that's the, I don't know. I find that to be one of the better parts of like talking to people about their art, is because like it, you know, it adds context to it. So next time I watch this, I'm gonna be like, wow, like you guys are shitty roommates. You know, I'm gonna be like,
yeah,
and then you guys are gonna so. The one that you guys are making fun of kills all of you.
Yeah.
So at least I look at that as like a positive light for your old roommate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's almost like he got the last laugh.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, I'm not trying to be morbid, you know what I mean? Like I wish only the best for people, so I kind of I do wish he was still here. But but yeah, that was kind of how I saw it. I just wanted to make a movie too where all of us died and there was not like a happy ending. I've always been more a fan of things that are like that end on like a morbid, twisted note. Although the movie's not like twisted or like fucked up. It's just I just don't want there to be like a hero, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, I think all my favorite horror movies fucking just do that, where it's just they end on a sour note. And I mean, fucking Dead and Buried, man. It's one of my favorites of all time, and the ending is just so cartoony and like ghoulish, and it ends on like such a sour note. And I'm just like, this is what a horror movie should be.
How
And
does that
same
one
thing with
end?
how does it end? Have you seen
Yeah.
it?
No, I have not.
Oh, then I'm not gonna tell you, brother.
Oh, damn. I got to find out on my own. Okay, okay.
No,
Gotcha.
Dead and Buried is one of my favorite horror movies of all time, dude. It's so good. It's from the early '80s. Robert Englund's in it for a minute,
Oh, wow.
and
Was this
yeah,
pre
it's
Nightmare on Elm Street? Because
it,
the first was 84, wasn't it? So this would be
yeah,
before it, or.
I think it's 81 or 82.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, you should definitely check it out because it feels like a really long episode of like Tales from the Crypt or something, and it's got such a great atmosphere. It's filmed in like a coastal town, and it almost kind of has like the Fog type of feel,
Oh, I love the fog. I love
and
anything Carpenter, man. Yeah.
it feels kind of carpentery, in a couple, in a couple aspects, but actually it feels really carpentery, and like all the people that kind of came after, even like the like Halloween 3, it's kind of got like a Halloween 3 meets the Fog vibe. Um, you should definitely watch it. I'm not going to ruin it, but it ends on a sour note, and you might like it, you might hate it, but it's kind of revered as a sleeper. A lot of people like will find it later in life and be like, dude, that was great. Why did I not see this? The VHS tape in the video store always used to creep me out. There's like it's just like a face like buried in like the dirt, and I would always, it doesn't look anything like the landscape of the movie,
Right.
but I would always look at it and just be like ugh, and I just set it back down because it just creeped me out so much. It would give me nightmares. I didn't know what it was about until I watched it. I was maybe like 12 or 13, and it came on like late night television, and I didn't make the correlation that it was that movie until years later.
Oh.
The same one with the scary VHS box.
Wow, that guy, Gary Sherman, he also did Poltergeist 3. So that's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
See, that's another one. That's the secret reason why I do these podcasts is I'm just trying to find new recommendations to watch. That's all.
Yeah. No, it's a good idea. It's very solid.
No, but yeah, that's
If you have any for me.
Um, I'd have to think about it.
All right, well, please. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say when I go into these interviews, I'm not thinking about anything about what I could say about myself. I'm just like, I don't give a fuck about Sean. I'm just like, I'm like, all right, what do you have
but
to
I'm
say?
gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask you anyways. Like, give me like, what's one of your favorite horror movies of all time? Just like one of them.
Can't say The Thing because I already said it. Oh, Exorcist 3.
Yeah. Exorcist 3. Ooh, Brad Dourif.
Yep. And I read the book Legion, the original novel, which the studio made them go all Exorcist with it, but the book itself, it focuses on the serial killer supernatural story with the Gemini killer. Event Horizon, that one.
Oh,
I wish we got the extended cut of that. There's this extended cut that was supposed to be made, and
I remember when that dropped on Blu-ray, and I heard like, because I've heard the rumors all my life, as an avid horror movie fan, that there's like, oh, dude, there's so many censored scenes that they cut out because they had to get an R rating for theatrical release. And then when I found out that it was like they were dropping this like Blu-ray or whatever, I was like, finally a full cut, and it still wasn't. I was like, what the? I didn't even go grab it. I was like, I think I still have it on DVD, but I was like, this is fine. If they're not gonna add that shit that
right.
I wanted for like 2 decades, then I don't care.
I will say it looks really good on 4K though. If you get 4K, it looks really good. They did a good job with that one.
Yeah, I bet they did.
And there's a couple modern horror movies that I love. So there's The Wailing.
Oh yeah, dude, The Wailing's awesome.
Dude, incredible. And that's another like 2.5 hour long movie that is just like brilliant filmmaking. And
yeah,
Exuma from last year. Got it.
Yeah, let me know, because I've heard of Exuma, but I've never seen it.
This one's really cool. It's like
oh yeah, for sure.
It should be on like Shudder or some shit if you wanted to stream it, but this one was a fucking surprise. I watched that and I'm like, wow. They do some crazy things that reminded me of some obscure horror movies in the past. Like there's this one called Daimajin. It's spelled like Daigmin. It's about this kaiju. It's in Japan, and it's like this kaiju serial killer thing.
What? It came out last year?
No. Daijmin didn't. This is like back in like the 70s or something, but Exuma came out last year. And that, yeah. So Daimajin, there we go. I can't fucking speak, but it came out in 1966. I'll link that to you after this.
Yeah, let me know.
But that's like this like samurai giant statue that's like a kaiju that comes alive and like just like terrorizing these people. I don't know. It's weird, but there's a scene in Exuma that I don't want to spoil, but it reminded me of that.
Whoa, that's weird. That sounds crazy. Like I've been seeing that poster going around because like on Instagram I follow all these like horror pages, and all my friends do like horror reviews and stuff.
Right.
And I'll see that poster and I'll hear people talk about it, but I still haven't watched it. But you're making it sound very enticing.
Yeah, and if you like The Wailing, I mean this is another one that's just like very well written. It takes time with its characters. All the tenets I look for in any movie, no matter what type it is.
Dude, The Wailing, that's the kind of movie that does it so well, where the slow burn is not a slow burn because you're invested in the writing and the character development. I was like the whole time, because it is a longer movie, and I was just waiting. You're just like, you're on edge the whole time, even though it's silent. You're just kind of waiting for the next thing.
Yep, and it has a great payoff at the end. No spoilers, but that's what I look for in horror too. It's got to have some sort of payoff. And sometimes that's like the main character's winning, but also it ends on like a really badass note with like the killer or whatever the entity is, right? Yeah. And there was one more I was going to mention. Oh, so I'm interested to know your take on this movie, because I loved it. Not a lot of people seem to. In a Violent Nature.
Okay. I really did like it. I have this thing where my fiance and I, when we watch a movie in the theater, because like we go like once or twice a week, but we watched it together, and after we left, I was like, I really liked it, but I didn't love it. You need to get like an 8 and above for me to be like, I loved that. And I think I gave it like it sounds pretentious as shit, but I was like a 7.7. I really liked it, but it was like just under love, So I really enjoyed watching the movie. I wasn't like pissed about it. Like a lot of people are just complainers, man. We all like to complain. Even if there's a movie I go watch and it's like a 4 or a 5. We just watched Screamboat, right? And I was like, this movie is a 5, but I had fun. You know what I mean? I'm not going to talk shit about it on the internet. We made Blood Gorge. It's not fucking, who cares? It's just have a good time. And I think sometimes people forget that. And also, as something like In a Violent Nature, for the past like decade, like 7-8 years, we're living in a post-Hereditary world, right? Where everything comes out has got to be like really serious or really bleak or really whatever. But like, just I'll take some Screamboat, even if it sucks as a movie. It's just like, let's go to the movies and have some fucking fun. But In a Violent Nature, I really liked. It's just not one that I think I would like return to in the next year or so. If somebody, really wanted to watch it, I would watch it, but I'm not gonna put it on my own volition. But that's just me.
Yeah, no, I get you. And it definitely, the parts I like about it kind of sacrifice what could have made it even better from like even a character standpoint or really anything, because like the storytelling itself, they had to do almost environmental storytelling where we're following Johnny and we're barely hearing like the kids talk about what's going on. You hear tidbits of the legend. I think that's all that's fantastic, that's unique, but it sacrifices how it's gonna like impact you, you know? So to your point, like you're not gonna be inclined to return to it, because to be fair, it's just him walking a lot of the time. For me, it's like a meditative movie, so I like shit like that because I could put it on and it's like good scenery. I'm like, I could just chill out, be on my phone, have this movie in the background, just like it's one of those movies for me. I don't know.
I know, I totally feel that. When I was watching it, I really like what you just said is one of my favorite parts of the movie. Like, I liked hearing a little bit of the lore and then watching it unfold. And I really like how they made that whole thing believable. You know, when Jason pops up, he's just, you're like, okay. And like, is he teleporting?
Right.
And I didn't really think it was that much walking. I wasn't like, oh, come on, get to it already. I just felt like I felt like the walking was fine, honestly. But if there was like a little bit more of a pacing, if there was like one or two more kills, it probably would have sucked me in a little bit more, and I'd have been like, that's an 8. I love this movie. But something felt a little off for me when I first watched it, but it might deserve a rewatch in the next year or two, and I might change my mind. So
yeah, and they're making a sequel, which I'm
no way.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to see how they're going to go about it. I imagine they're going to think of like because they're not going to do this again, like just following the slasher around or whatever. So I mean, I hope they don't, because then I'm going to probably not enjoy it, because I'm going to be like, we already saw this the first time.
Yeah,
but
that's the allure of the movie.
Yeah, so this guy, there's this director I like a lot named Steve Kostansky. He directed The Void, which
okay.
Yeah, and I love that movie. Cosmic horror. If I were to keep talking about what I like about horror, I like cosmic horror. But he did The Void, fucking love that. He also did Frankie Frico, which is hilarious, and Psycho Goreman, which is also hilarious. But he did like he helped out with practical effects on In a Violent Nature. And I thought that was interesting.
Wait a minute. He directed, you're saying, yeah, dude, I love that guy as a person. Like, I like The Void a lot, and I still haven't seen Psycho Gorman. I did not know he had any involvement in that movie, but it makes sense. His special effects are crazy. He's a super multi-talented person.
Yeah.
He's a writer, he's a director, special effects person, like just like, you know, Damien with Terrifier. It's dude does it all, and to do one of those jobs super well is insane. So like all three is nuts. He's also, I think he has producer credits on stuff too, because he was like wasn't he part of like the Astron 6 crew?
Yeah, Yep, Astron 6. So was I think Chris Nash, the director of In a Violent Nature, might have also been a part of that too.
I think he is. I didn't even realize that was Chris Nash. Like, I don't, like, sometimes certain names and things stick with me.
Yeah.
And then certain don't. And then I'll hear, like, I've seen the movies, and then the names just, like, leave my head. I don't know.
Oh, okay, so never mind. So Chris Nash is not. But Jeremy Gillespie, that's who I was thinking of. He's someone else who's been a part of a bunch of different projects too. But yeah, my bad. Not Chris Nash, but him and Steve did work together, so there's that connection.
Right. Okay. No, that's so cool, man. I fucking love that, because I like to see. It's so cool to see what someone's clique is doing, and then when they kind of cross over and work on something else that you like, and it's just like, man, that's probably why I like it, because this guy that did all this other sick shit it's cool, man. I like to see where people come from and where they're going. And I loved like all the Astron 6 stuff. I love The Editor. I think that's probably their best movie. But I love Father's Day too. Have you seen that one?
No, I haven't.
Bro,
you're probably
a bigger
you're probably a bigger Astron 6 fan than I am.
I mean, you know, the one that I wasn't really a fan of was called Manborg. And it's not
Okay.
even that I'm not a fan. It's a cool movie, but the editor, if you haven't seen the editor, it's like a strange take on, it's like an American Giallo, but it's like really meta, and they kind of like twist it on its head a little bit, and it's so funny and it's so good. And Father's Day is like it's a trauma movie, and that's all that needs to be said. But it's
Right.
like made by those guys, and they're both awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
You should definitely check them
awesome.
out.
That whole crossover thing, that's like with Screamboat. So the director of
Yeah.
Screamboat works with the
Mhm.
Terrifier folks, and obviously David Howard Thornton, he played Steamboat Willie or whatever they call him in this.
Played the mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the mouse is like a small mouse in
Oh,
the
have you
movie.
not seen it?
I saw pictures in the trailer. I didn't watch the movie. I want to, because I want to support these guys. But yeah, so they went
Yeah.
with him being like an actual like size of a mouse, kind of.
Yeah, they did a forced perspective thing, and like
That's hilarious.
It is hilarious. It's terrible. Like, but you're making you know what you're getting when you go into this movie, right? You're not like expecting another Terrifier. You're expecting one of these like forced IP movies. But the sincere part of me wants to be like, I'm tired of this shit because I don't want to see people capitalizing on stuff that they're buying it up just so they know they can make a buck. And I think that's where art kind of gets stifled a little bit. Um, they're making a comedy, and I get it, but it could have just been done a little bit more, a little less ham-fisted, I think, and they could have still given us art with the dumb IP. And a great example of that, if you haven't seen it, is Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare.
I just watched that the other day. Yeah,
What did you think?
I liked it more than I thought I would because I haven't been
Yeah.
big on the Winnie the Pooh stuff. The first one, hated it.
Mhm.
Second one, I was like, I appreciate that they're doing more. So I'm like, all right, I'll give this a higher rating. I like their trajectory. You know, you're going up. That's good. And then Peter Pan, I was like, oh wow, this is like a pretty effective, slasher flick, and I like the look of Peter Pan. Yeah, what did you think?
No, I liked it a lot, honestly. I think, dare I say, I loved it. It might be a high 7.9.
Oh shit. Okay.
It was close to an 8. It might have been an 8. I thought it was just, and it might have been my low expectations though. So sometimes you got to sit on it. But I really, really enjoyed the set pieces, the care that they seem to put into the art of everything, the interior of the house, the, like you said, the makeup effects. The story is not like a bastardized Steamboat Willie. It's not just like, oh, he's a scary mouse and it's Mickey Mouse and it's, it was like they wrote a story where everyone's character was a facsimile of the original Peter Pan story, but it was its own thing entirely. It was like a crime film, like almost on par with something like, not on par, but something almost as like prestigious as Silence of the Lambs or Seven, something that has a real crime thriller element that you're not expecting, you know what I mean? And when they kind of pulled it off, I was like, it was actually kind of brutal, and I had a great time watching that movie. And it might just be my low expectations, but that, in my opinion, is a great IP mixed with like the artistic vision of someone who's not just trying to make a buck. And I felt like that's what Steamboat Willie was, or Screamboat.
Yeah. At least Screamboat sounds like it's better than the Mousetrap. And I think there's another one of those Mickey Mouse movies out now. But
there's got to be 2 or 3 at this point.
Yeah.
Mousetrap.
The Poonaverse, I think, is going to excel because of the low expectations. It's one of those things where it's like they came out the gate with something that like a lot of people watched, not a lot of people liked, and it's like the only way you could go is up. And honestly, they're taking feedback and they're applying it to their next project. And by the time they're done with it, dude, they're gonna have some prestigious horror movies. I think. I'm rooting for them.
I am too. And as not a person who's not a hater, bro, like even if I don't like something, it's like I know that there's people out there that are going to like this.
Yeah.
I think horror movies, I think cinema and films in general are just for everybody. And it's like, if I don't like this, I'm not going to shit on you for liking it. I think, especially with these indie guys that are coming up, because I think they made Winnie the Pooh for like 150 grand.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a little bit of money, but it's not a lot, like comparatively. Like the movie did millions of dollars just because of what it is. And then the kid, it's fucking, what's his name? Christopher Robin?
Oh,
The guy that played, yeah, the guy that played him wrote and
Scott
directed.
Chambers. He did the Peter Pan. Yeah. Scott Chambers. Yeah.
Right. And so that's back to our point about them like applying their feedback and their knowledge. Like it's almost like he did this thing where he got the IP and was like, let's just get it, let's just crank it out. But then it gave them an opportunity, and then they're actually trying now. You know, without that opportunity, you don't really have a chance to try. Because like, who's gonna give you more money if you're not doing anything? You have to do something. So if you steal the IP, you do that thing, you do that cornball move, it opens up a lot of doors. So I can see the merit. Screamboat just to me did not really fill that artistic void, and I think I'm just tired of seeing people just kind of just want to exclusively make money.
Yeah.
But it could be for other people. I could be entirely wrong. It didn't hit me the way other things have hit me.
Yeah, basically the model you're talking about, and I don't fault Blumhouse for this, but that's essentially their business model. Is they're just going to churn out some formulaic thing, get a whole bunch of money for it, and then every once in a while they invest in like a really, really well done horror movie. But still, like, they're like, I get it, especially when you're operating at that level as a studio. Like, you got to have some sort of method to keep the money coming. But try to give us a little better trade-off with the good stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're me and my friends talk about this all the time. I do little. It's been a while since I've been on their show, but Colby does horror, and Ian Van Gool. We always like riff on Blumhouse stuff and kind of wonder about like their hits to their misses, and the ratio is off, bro.
Way off.
Way too off. And I'm not gonna fault them until they start bastardizing some of the shit that I've loved all my life, where it's like they're literally just revamping Halloween to make a buck, right? And it's just stuff like that sort of irritates me. But at the same time, you have to respect the hustle and like, okay, great, Jamie Lee's a star again, so let's get her back in this, and like let's like help revitalize her career or whatever. It's like it does a lot of good for the horror scene, but at the same time, it's just they're not movies that I'm gonna go like watch a second and third time and become a fan of. They're movies I'll see because I'm an idiot, but I'm not gonna take them to my grave in my brain. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They had one movie that I liked last year, so I saw all their movies last year. Night Swim, Imaginary, Afraid. Actually, I didn't see House of Spoils. And then Speak No Evil. I actually liked Speak No Evil.
I liked it. But have you seen the original?
Yeah, I hate it. It was really well done, but like we talked earlier about this, like negative endings. Yeah, that's one that I can't stand. I watched that ending, and especially as a parent, like just how that movie went, I'm like, you guys are so stupid. I was like upset at the end. I was like, I'm pissed that it ended, that they just had this happen this way. But very well done movie. Absolutely, nothing against it. It's just personally, I was just angry when I was done watching it, and that's the effect, right? That's what they want. So like I said, I don't fault them. Yeah, but the Blumhouse gave the Hollywood climax. But I walked out of the remake and I was like, oh, this doesn't make me feel like shit and angry. So by default, I like this.
I wanted to feel like shit though, because like I was like, make me cry, man. But I don't know, because I really like I mean, who doesn't like James McAvoy, right?
Right.
But I was like, man, he's such a good bad guy. They should have just gone full swing. I really wanted. A great example of a bleak remake, and this is cheating though because it's the same director, but Funny Games,
Oh yeah,
1997 to like 2007 or whatever, and it's the same movie, but he didn't change anything. He left the bleak ending, he left all the miserable stuff, just to make you feel just as bad, but in English. And like I love that movie, both of them. And I was kind of expecting something similar with Speak No Evil because I really liked the original. I thought the remake was okay. I wasn't like mad about it, but I was just like a little let down that
they didn't
they
go
totally.
full swing. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, because I knew Blumhouse wouldn't, but that's kind of why I was like, okay, they're gonna. Like, part of
right.
me was still like, maybe they will. Um, have you seen a Blumhouse movie called? I think it went straight to streaming though. It wasn't theatrical. What was that one take movie that came out like 3 years ago? Have you seen? I think it's called Soft and Quiet. Is that the name of it?
Oh yeah, I I hated that one.
Yeah. No, I
Just
really
because
didn't like that movie. Hmm.
like what I said about Speak No Evil, I was so
Yeah.
fucking mad,
Yeah, that's why I bring it up.
Yeah.
It's a miserable movie for sure. There were some cool things about it, but as a whole, I wasn't really a huge fan of that one. It's the ending is upsetting and it's like
Yeah.
tragic, and I like that. But I need for me something like Funny Games. The whole setup and the whole like the character development and the whole everything was just like spot on, and that's why the bleak ending works for something like that, where it's kind of it takes you on a roller coaster, while Soft and Quiet was just kind of it just seemed more like shock value than anything,
Yeah.
and less of a great story. But
Yeah, very
again,
mean-spirited.
what do I know? I don't know. It's very mean, but so is Funny Games. Like, you can be mean, just be good at
Right.
being mean.
And see, that's the whole being mean-spirited, I think takes away from what could be even better horror movies, like Terrifier 3.
Yeah.
Like what we talked about
Yeah.
with the kills. There was a point where I'm just
Mhm.
like, I get it, dude. Like, you guys
Yeah.
you got a big ass budget, you're just like really killing it with these kills. But like,
No pun intended.
yeah, exactly. That's why number 4, I want them to just go weird and just like we go into hell and Sienna's trying to get her niece back or her cousin, whoever it is. Just like
Yeah.
give us these weird creature designs. You're in like the underworld type shit. I want that.
And they did a little bit in part 3. I love the
Yeah.
whole like the sword melding scene where there's like an angel and then like a fucking demon, and I was like, this is
Yeah.
gross, bro. Like this feels like Event Horizon, but like in hell and not in space hell. I
Exactly.
really it felt like very like cosmic horror, and I would love to see more of that.
I hope that that's what they go for, and they don't go for like from 2 to 3, how they're like when they're like, how can we just make these even more insane kills? I hope from 3 to 4 they're like, now let's just dive into this like crazy wild shit that we just introduced in a little bit of 2, but mostly 3. Just going to hell and fighting, because from a creative perspective, you could create these like grotesque, awesome looking monsters and shit and demons, and then you have Art doing something. I don't know what the fuck Art would be doing, but maybe he goes into hell after Sienna because he knows what she's trying to do. And like, maybe, I don't know if he would just team up with these monsters or he would have to fucking go after them. Who knows? But I love ambitious shit like that. When it's just an idea, you just...
Bro, you're crazy. Like, that's insane. You should go write movies, dude.
It'd all be cosmic horror,
Yeah, good.
More Event Horizon.
Yeah, I mean, I love that movie. Are you a fan of like From Beyond?
Yep. Reanimator. I fuck with Reanimator too.
Yeah.
A more recent one, probably seen this one, Color Out of Space.
Yeah, for sure. I love that director too. He's you ever see his other shit, Dust Devil and Hardware?
No, but I think he did. Island of Dr. Moreau, correct?
Ooh, the remake?
Yeah, Richard. No. The one with Marlon Brando. Was that a remake? Was that technically a remake? Yeah, Richard Stanley. Yeah. Which
was it Val Kilmer in that one?
Yeah, yeah.
Dude,
Val Kilmer.
R.I.P. dude.
R.I.P.
Yeah, I haven't seen that movie since the theater. I was a child and I saw The Island of Dr. Moreau.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It kind of creeped me out. I should watch that again. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's definitely a remake from like I think it might have been like a Val Lewton movie, like from the 50s. But I could be talking shit. But it is definitely an old movie that got remade.
H.G. Wells might have written the book, I think. One of those old authors did the book. But yeah, that was pretty awesome. But really quick to jump back into questions for a second. We talked a lot about movies, which is great. So we talked a little earlier about, so I still have your DVD for Blood Gorge and you have a Blu-ray, and that Blu-ray you released through, what's the company's name? The little indie company on Instagram?
Future Video.
Future Video. Yeah. So what was that process like? Did you seek them out or did they seek you out?
So Future Video is really cool because they work with other independent directors and stuff that are like have been doing this shit for like 40 years, man. So this guy Matt who runs it, he works closely with J.R. Bookwalter, if you've ever heard that name. But he's been doing like shot on video and old school stuff from the 80s, and he has a thing called Make Flicks, and they kind of like go hand in hand, and they distribute online and stuff, and it's on a website, and so you can go buy Blood Gorge like on an official website. You know, it's not just like like in Facebook or an Instagram thing, but it's neat. Cool guys, and they really love independent cinema, which is really cool because it's not just some faceless, nameless thing.
Right.
I actually met Matt at a showing in Detroit of J.R. Bookwalter's latest movie. It's called Results May Vary. So I was out there with CJ from Blood Gorge. We were just hanging out, and
is he the one with the dildo in the mouth?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
With the old
yeah. Right. Sorry, right. Continue.
No. We were just out there because we wanted to see his new movie. And I had brought Blood Gorge posters with me because we were dropping Blood Gorge on YouTube the very next day. So I was going to promote this movie. I was just going to hand out posters and just be like, hey, keep a lookout for this movie. It's coming out tomorrow. And Matt from Future Video was there. He was on their tour with them. And he came up and grabbed a poster. He's like, oh, this is your movie? And I was like, yeah, it's coming out on YouTube. And he's like, when? And I was like, tomorrow, 6:00. And he's like, all right, cool, I'll check it out. And I was like, I didn't believe him, honestly. I kind of just thought he was being nice, which is totally fine. Like, take my poster. That's right. What I'm here to do, is give you a poster and like hang it up somewhere. But he actually checked it out, and I remember getting a message from him at like 6:45, like right after the premiere of Blood Gorge on YouTube. And he was like, hey dude, Blood Gorge is cool, let me put it out. And I was like, oh, sick, cool, all right. But at that moment, I'd already signed on to do a thing with a couple other people, so we had to talk about like how and when it would come out.
Right.
But he was really cool. It came out a couple months after the fact, but it's because we did a DVD with somebody else, and then it got a European DVD release, and then I signed on for a VHS release too, and they pushed it back because of the Blu-ray, so that's actually coming out this Halloween. But yeah, but Future Video, really cool. Matt's really cool. He does a lot of like just really, really independent stuff, and he does there's this guy Sean Donahue. He does a lot of really cool like splatter stuff from Florida, and he puts out his stuff too.
Yeah.
And it's just cool to like, I've heard these names and seen these people, during the con circuit and stuff. And then for them to want to put out Blood Gorge was really, it was kind of it was a good feeling because I really like, I live for this independent horror shit, man. I really do.
Yeah.
You know.
That, because that's where we get probably some of the best horror ever, is even the ones back in the day. I mean, a lot of those were released independently or on a smaller scale. You had Roger Corman and
oh yeah,
you said the other guy, I forgot their name already. Sorry.
Herschel, baby.
Yeah, Herschel.
Herschel Gordon Lewis. Yeah.
Yeah, you had them balling on a budget, and like I consider that basically independent. Like when you're just doing it, not like a big studio backing you. Same shit. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's really awesome that you guys are, you're doing that. You're pushing with that.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. It's been cool. It's been cool to see like people posting that they bought it from like some con that Matt's at, and it's weird to see people that like I've never met grab it. You know what I mean? Like you, I've never met you until today.
Right.
I mean, we talk here and there, but like the fact that you just like showed me the DVD, which is also cool because it's like I mailed you that DVD. You know, that was like that's our release, so it's just really cool to see. There's a difference there. When I mail you something and I mail somebody something, it's like, oh, I know exactly how many people I'm sending shit out to and who it is to a degree. But then when I see people post the thing that I did not release, and it's just like, why do you have that? Or like, how do you have that? You know, and it's a whole nother feeling. So as much as I appreciate something like sending you a DVD, it's just crazy to see other people have the other releases too, because it's just so weird.
Actually, like you didn't send it. I was at Video Exclusive, and I got it.
Oh, yeah, you told me that, bro. I'm stupid.
Dude, it was crazy because like it was a small world, because like shortly after like talking to you about Hellmare and stuff, I'm like, oh, I'm in Dearborn, Michigan. I'm right down the fucking street from this random video store that still exists.
Yeah.
And that was cool. And yeah, I picked up Blood Gorge there.
I remember you actually telling me that. It's just like from in my head, since I mailed out like 70 of those shits, I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, I forgot, honestly, because Video Exclusive it's another store now called Occult 83, but it's still a video store, but now it's got like more, it's like half a video store and half a sex shop. So before,
it was kind of like that. It was kind of like that when I went there. Is it more now? Has it like...
Yeah, it's like 18 and up only. And now it's like 50-50. Before it was like 90 or like 80-20, but now it's like split down the middle. But it's still cool. In fact, we're filming a segment for Hellmare there again. So
nice.
Yeah.
What toy is it going to be this time that's going to have to do with the death?
Unfortunately, no one's dying there.
Oh, man.
It's kind of just the setup for the movie, but it's going to be cool because it's going to be people that worked there too before. So like part of our cast, besides CJ, like Sebastian and Jordan, they both actually worked at Video Exclusive, and it's gonna be cool just to have them back and just have it be like a good throwback. I kind of feel like Blood Gorge, or this is like a spiritual sequel to Blood Gorge in a lot of ways. So I'm looking forward to it because now, since it'll be a feature, it's kind of hopefully the movie that I wanted to make with Blood Gorge. So hopefully that's what we're trying to do with this thing. Blood Gorge was like an experiment, and I think this is going to be the real version of what I wanted that one to be.
Awesome,
if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I'm definitely looking forward to that. You're going to start filming that soon. That'll be that'll be great. Before we get off physical media, just really quick, if you got to choose any of the big boutique shops like Arrow, Vinegar Syndrome, all those, Criterion even, which one of those would you want to release one of your movies? Or like a future movie that you haven't made yet? Which one would you want to put it out?
I would love Criterion to put out Blood Gorge. I think it's deserved. It's deserved, and I think it would make so much sense. So If anyone from Criterion is watching Sean's podcast right now,
Yeah. Hey, they have
no,
Armageddon, so they're not always like super picky.
Armageddon, the comet movie, the
Yeah.
asteroid movie.
Yeah.
Well, I think I knew that actually. I think they also put out The Rock too,
Yeah.
starring Sean Connery.
And if we're talking fucked up movies, they put out Salo. That's like the main way to get Salo, or the 120 Days of Sodom.
Yeah, I that's how I have it.
Nice.
The Criterion version.
Yeah, but okay, so
Um,
Criterion, or is that like a
no,
joke?
no,
Okay.
no. It's a joke. I think I've actually thought about this, not because I think it would ever happen, but Arrow does put out some indie stuff, man. Like I have a bunch of Arrow stuff that isn't like some back catalog movie or some prestigious movie, and one of them was called Two Witches. Have you ever seen that?
No. Is it foreign? A foreign
I
film?
I don't think it is. It might be like English or like Canadian or
Oh,
something,
okay.
but it's English speaking. To my recollection, anyways.
Okay.
Now you got me fucked up. I don't know.
What's
But
it about?
it might have. It's about two witches.
Makes sense. Yeah, I should have seen
I,
that
I
coming.
no, honestly, I haven't seen it in a long. Like I bought it when it came out, and it was like maybe 4 years ago, so I haven't seen it since. But I remember thinking like this is an independent movie, and it was unusual for Arrow, in my opinion, to put something like that out. So it was like cool to see like a door open for independent filmmakers. But it's about I think a group of it's a pair of sisters, and fucking one of them shit, I'm gonna botch it, man. It was weird, and it was kind of a slow burn, but it was kind of cool. I should rewatch it because I remember liking it.
What year
But
did
it's
it come out?
independent for sure.
Like the movie itself, what year was it made?
I think it was like 2020, 21, maybe.
Oh, okay. So I'm looking at the art for it now, and it totally looks like it could have been something from 40 years ago with the way that the box
Doesn't
art
it?
is. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
when I'm looking at movies like Blind Buys, for instance, like don't hate
Hmm.
me, but I usually don't go for like the older stuff. When I blind
No, for
buy,
sure.
I'm looking for like stuff within maybe the past 10 years.
Yeah.
Because all the older stuff, if it's really good, I would have already seen it at this point. It's hard for me. It's hard for me to blind buy something that I haven't seen when it comes to that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Except there's a lot I haven't seen with like Vinegar Syndrome and Severin, but I'm also not always like. I like Giallo. It's fine, but stuff like Thriller or like the almost like the smutty kind of like unrated or
Mhm.
exploitation stuff of like the 70s. I don't really fuck with it that much. I appreciate it for what it is, but a lot of these boutique shops, that's kind of what they're selling.
Oh yeah,
But I respect it. Don't hurt me.
for sure.
But I'm
No,
looking
no,
for
no.
modern day, because I feel like
Yeah.
people talk so much shit about how modern day movies are. I'm like, I don't believe that.
Mhm.
There's so many movies out there that are good. You just gotta find them.
I agree. I totally agree. But to bash on you because your point is wrong. You haven't seen Dead and Buried, and that's a 40-year-old movie.
Yeah, and that one I'm interested in seeing too. And what was that other one? Blood Feast.
Blood Feast. You might. All right. So that one might be one that you're not a fan of because it's sort of what you just described, but even older. It's from the 60s, and it was just sort of smutty, and it's just like corny as shit. But its charm, like what it
Yeah.
like what it lacks in the stuff that you want to see, its charm just makes up for it. And again, don't watch it unless it's raining outside and you have nothing to do. And it'll slap so hard. I'm telling you, like fresh popcorn, fucking ice cold drink, and rain, and Blood Feast is like the perfect. Actually, so for that matter, so is Dead and Buried. Rainy day movie, bro. Both of them.
Double feature.
So just
Got it.
double feature rainy day movie. That'd be sick. I'm gonna do that next time it rains.
Hell yeah. Um,
Hmm.
so my last question here is, where do you see yourself in 5 years? This could be professionally, personally, either way.
I don't know, dude. I hate thinking cosmically like that. This is cosmic horror, dude. This is the existential horror is what you're making me
The
endure.
unknown. Yeah.
Yeah, precisely the void. Because honestly, not that I'm a doom and gloomer or anything, but I don't even think we have 10 years left the way shit's going. At least it sounds dark, but I genuinely live like every day like we only have potentially 3,000 days left,
Right.
and I really can't imagine having cultivating some career in the next 5-10 years. uh I've been on a few podcasts before where people have asked me like, oh, is filmmaking going to be your career? And would have to say no, because I do this in my spare time. I would love to do something like I'm not thinking that this is going to be the case, but I'm hoping Hellmare will be something that somebody might take note of and maybe offer some assistance down the line so I can continue to do it to some degree. But if no one likes Hellmare and it fucking totally sucks and it comes out like shit, I'll blame my brother and not me,
Oh, there you
So
go.
it's fine. Nah, just kidding. Um, no, I would just like to do it again, and even if nobody offers that life preserver, I'm still gonna make another movie for no reason. But I also kind of want to write a book or two or three. I have all these ideas, and I really do want to turn some of these ideas I had for movies into books, because I think with a book you don't need to fucking worry about what you can and can't do with a budget.
Right.
So, and I have a lot of like really thrillery and science fictiony and drama-y type of ideas that I wouldn't even know where to begin as far to know how to direct those types of movies. But I feel like I could write the words out and it would be compelling to read. So I might do that. I'm gonna start writing actually after we film Hellmare, and try to get a book out, just a couple hundred pages, and see if somebody wants to publish it. But again, I'm not holding my breath. I work 45 hours a week, so it's like I'm gonna just keep working, and I'm gonna keep making stuff on the side. I've always kind of made stuff, music and artwork to some degree, and now it's just filmmaking is the new thing for me. So even if no one cares, I'm still gonna keep making shit. But hopefully someone helps out with the next one. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Like to another degree. Not to say, because like, all right, for anyone listening, Sean Slimak is a producer of Hellmare. So
I believe in the
I
project. I hope
right.
hope it's good.
I I appreciate it. No, and that's what I mean. Like when I say these things, it's not to say that we haven't gotten help or anything, because we
Yeah.
have. So I'm really hoping that we make something cool for the people that actually contributed and that want to be a part of this thing, because I don't want to let anyone down. It's
Right.
not even about like, Blood Gorge was like a no pressure situation. I don't feel like we let anyone down because nobody had money at stake. Nobody knew who the hell we were. And
Right.
then we put out this movie, and then, a couple hundred people are like, oh, that's neat. And to me, when I show somebody something and then it spirals into hundreds of people, I'm like, that's crazy. Even if it's a couple dozen, I would be like, holy shit, how do you know what that is? So anyone who likes whatever we're doing is so greatly appreciated. But I'm hoping for the next thing we get just a couple more people on board. And if not, fuck it, we'll just make it Hellmare 2 or whatever.
Do another found footage, something without a budget, just another found footage
Yeah.
movie.
Just keep grinding. Honestly, I think a lot of people I think a lot of people get discouraged. Last thing I'll say, they think they're gonna make the next like Paranormal Activity, or they think they're gonna make the next fucking. They have high hopes. They think their movie's gonna get put in theaters for some reason. Like that's just not how things work. That's just not how like the real world works. I want that for everybody. I want everyone to be like so what God, I'm so spacey today, bro. I want everyone to just flourish for sure. I'm not talking down to anybody, but I think a lot of people have real high expectations that need to be met with reality. There needs to be a balance.
Yeah, I agree. Especially like people coming into it wide-eyed and bushy-tailed. It's just like you're going to be very discouraged, and you're probably going to quit when it doesn't work.
Right.
And that's why people, like what you're saying, you want to set those expectations realistically.
Correct.
So you don't get a punch in the gut and you just want to quit. Keep moving forward.
Yeah.
You know?
That's exactly it, dude. I think we should all just keep ourselves in check, and that's where I'm at, and that's why, you know, not many people have too much at stake with this movie. I think everyone who contributed is gonna be like, okay, that's a completed film. If it's one thing we're gonna do, it's gonna be complete the project. And I think some people will like it. I'm hoping more people like it than Blood Gorge, but that's all I can do is hope for the best and just be appreciative for the people that are there for it. And just, you got to keep yourself in check with everything you do, bro.
Absolutely. So is there anything you want to plug? Do you still have any crowdfunding websites? Is there something that you want to put out there for my new listeners to check out? Kind of left on a good note there, but if there's anything additional that you wanted to push for Hellmare, for instance.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, and thanks again for having me, dude. I could always talk about horror movies, so if I'm not crashed out from work or whatever, I'm fucking down. But it's called RFN Pictures. You can find it on YouTube. You can find it on Instagram. You can stream Blood Gorge on Fossum, and you can buy a Blu-ray from Future Video, or you can hit me up on Instagram to buy a DVD or a VHS. We made a found footage movie or two. We're gonna put out a second one, and probably at the same time as Hellmare. We filmed it last year, but we haven't finished it because Hellmare's pre-production took precedence. So yeah, if you follow us online anywhere, we're working on 4 different movies. They're all super independent, and if independent horror is a thing that you enjoy or want to be a part of, you could hit us up, or you could hit up any of our friends who are also making movies. If it's anything, our Instagram is like a wealth of a spring, if you will, of other people that are creating independent horror movies. So just go through our friends list and just find all the people that are doing it, and go follow them and check out their projects, because more people are making independent art than you think. I think a lot of people are going to the theater and they are seeing an independent movie that is made with $250,000, and they don't understand that there are people out there that are literally busting their ass, working fucking 50, 60, 70 hours a week just to put together 10 grand and rallying up all these people to film movies. Like, there's so many people doing it, it's like not even funny. Like, you can turn on Tubi and see all these types of movies. So I just think people should be more aware that anyone who's doing this on a level that isn't theatrical is doing it for the genuine love of doing it. And there's thousands of them out there. So if you're actually into horror movies like you say you are, everybody out there, go look for the people that are making this shit with nothing, because there's so many of them and you just don't know about it. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and the horror community honestly seems like one of the most supportive. So anybody listening, and even for you with your expectations for Hellmare, if you find a crowd in the horror community, man, that's a really good, because even with Blood Gorge, I feel like you've gotten a decent amount of feedback on that. The horror community is really, really friendly, supportive.
It is genuinely. I was surprised because we started with our first found footage movie, man, and I didn't expect to. You know, we've only been doing this for like a year and a half, so I think we're in a good place for a year and a half's worth of a year and a half's worth of work.
There you
That's
go.
so hard to say. Yeah, thanks, bro. I think we're in a good place. But yeah, man, everyone's been like really, really receptive to even checking out Blood Gorge, even if you don't fucking like it. The fact that somebody watched it is like more than enough to me. Because like even when people shit talk our movies, totally fine. Like I do it all the time. But that the fact that hundreds of people sat through our movies is crazy to me. So people are supportive one way or the other. It's like that's support, like whether or not you think it is, like because you hate it. It's like you're supporting it, dude, and I appreciate it. So
and what
yeah,
day? Oh, sorry.
Mhm.
What day is you're doing a presentation with you're playing Blood Gorge, and you're also going to have Nukem High. What's that?
Yeah.
And what day is that?
Yeah, that is Sunday, May 18th at Planet Ant in Detroit. We're showing our slasher movie Blood Gorge alongside of Class of Nukem High with Lloyd Kaufman in attendance. And it's going to be sick, dude. I have people telling me they're coming out from Canada. You know, they're like, oh, I'm only 3 hours away. I'll drive into your fucking country.
Jeez. Yeah.
And I think, yeah, I mean, like, that's probably the reason to come to America is to hang out with Lloyd Kaufman. So let's do it.
Yeah, he seems great. But yeah, awesome. Thank you again for joining me. It was great, and yeah, I can't wait to see what you do with your upcoming projects.
Yeah, dude, I'm really excited to see your movies too, man. Like I think it's like I was talking about, you know, like I think we should all be excited to see what everyone else is making. It's really important. Not to just I don't know, not to support a scene or horror or whatever, but people should just be supporting one another. And I hope to see more of your stuff, and I appreciate you for being a part of Helmer, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Big time. Yeah. So thanks for even inviting me to talk, and I'm excited to show you, at least if anyone, I'm excited to show you what we're doing. So I'll send you that script, by the way. I just have not had a minute to get, you know, back to my fucking desktop today. So.
You're good, man. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. No problem, bro. I had a good time.